Hello friends, now that we have understood the income statement and its associated format, let us now look at the applications of the income statement in a live example. Here we will take a case study on Colgate and see how its income statement looks like. What we'll try and understand is we will look at its key elements of the income statement. Is it different from the one which we have discussed already? If yes, then what we should do in order to analyze the company? Can we convert the given income statement format of Colgate to an analyst friendly format? The analyst friendly format, as we have understood earlier, was that the income statement should contain elements of gross profits, clearly bifurcated. What is EBITDA, clearly defining EBIT, and PAT. So we must convert the original income statement into this kind of a format, which is analyst friendly format. So we will also look at this, and we have also learned earlier that within the income statement we have seen that management actually reports the recurring and non-recurring items simultaneously. So we will kind of look at whether the income statement of Colgate has any non-recurring items, and can we separate the recurring items and non-recurring items so that it is much easier to analyze the company on a continuous operations basis. So this is the agenda of this set of videos. The first step before we start analyzing the income statement of Colgate is to download the Colgate's 10K report, that is the annual report. So let's go ahead and download it from the Colgate's website. So for this I would like you to actually use the services of Google. Type google.com, and what we want to kind of search here is the investor relation website of Colgate. The idea here is that when you go to the Colgate's original website, you will not find information specifically tailor-made for the shareholders. So you need to search for investor relation Colgate website, and as you can see, the first website here is investor.colgate.com. So please open this website, and what you will now note here is that you come under the section for investors, and you have different icons which you can navigate through. The one which we would be interested in would be SEC filing. So under these SEC filing you will find the annual report or the 10K reports. However, feel free to navigate across the investor section because it is very useful to go through it for further details and information. So let's, for the time being, go into the SEC filing section and download the annual report or the 10K report which we are looking at. So I've clicked on SEC filing, and what we are interested in here is the 10K report or the annual report. So I'll just click here. The one which we are interested in is the latest filing, which is basically on the 21st of Feb 2013, and let's click on the annual report here, and with this you will be able to have the access to the annual report of the Colgate. If you require a PDF version, you can download it from here, and let's go ahead and look at what exactly it contains with respect to the income statement. So this is the overall 10K report, and it contains the first information which we should be kind of looking at is the period ending 31st to December 2012. So this is a calendar year that they actually follow. So they're not following any other fiscal year, they're just following the calendar year. So if you look at the overall anatomy of the 10K report, you'll find that it contains a lot of information, all of which is equally important. We will look at the readings of the SEC report, which are of different kinds, in a bit detail when we statement is basically in part 4, that is the exhibits and the financial statement schedules. So quickly navigating that to the respective section. Yeah, so this is where we have the income statement of Colgate. So please note on the left hand side the items that we have discussed earlier was gross sales, discounts, which leads to net sales. Here the net sales have been reported directly. The gross and the discounts and the other taxes associated with direct sales have not been provided as such. Likewise, cost of sales is given, which leads to the gross profits. So this is equally important. A note which I forgot to mention here was that these numbers are actually expressed in dollars and million, except for the per share data. So this number, which sounds as 17,085, is actually $17.085 billion, because these numbers are expressed in millions. Likewise, cost of sales is $7.153 billion. Okay, so let's go back to the anatomy of the income statement provided here. Selling, general and administrative expenses is $5.930 billion. A term which we have not yet discussed, something like other income and expenses. We'll come to this a bit later. Operating profit is the earnings before interest and taxes. So you may note earlier that we had started from the top. We started with gross sales, we went to net sales, then cost of sales, we calculated the gross profit. The next important element which we calculated earlier was the EBITDA, which was earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization. And then we deducted the depreciation and amortization to calculate the EBIT. So here the EBIT is given directly and there is no mention of EBITDA. So we need to kind of look backwards and calculate EBITDA, because that is also very important from the point of view of doing an analysis. So that's what we will be doing going forward. Again, interest expense net is provided. We have the taxes as well. So important term which we will be excluding from our discussions as of now is net income, which is attributable to the non-controlling interests. This will come under the advanced topics, and we will discuss that when we talk about minority interest and non-controlling interests. So for the time being, please assume that these entities are not present, and we will limit ourselves to only net income including the non-controlling interests. So this is where we will stop. So this is how the anatomy of Colgate Palmolive company looks like. Let's go ahead and now convert this given income statement into an analyst friendly income statement. For converting this into an analyst friendly format, let us first and foremost copy and paste the income statement in an Excel sheet. So let's open an Excel sheet and let's copy these set of statements. Now we can do this mechanically one by one. However, when we were downloading the PDF file from the investor relations section, we also noted that there was an Excel sheet which was already provided to us. So let's download this and see if these set of income statements are already there in the required format. So I'm just downloading this Excel sheet. Let's open this up and let's check it out if it contains the information that we require. The information that we want to actually look at is the income statement. So I'm just navigating from places where we would find the income statement. So this is where the income statement is. So in fact here we have been provided 3 years of income statement, so we can actually copy and paste it directly from this Excel sheet. So let's do it. I'll copy this selected section from the provided Excel sheet to the new Excel sheet where I want to do the analysis. I'm just copying and pasting it. Now this is the one which we wanted. Now when we talk about analyst friendly format, one thing that we should note here is the most recent years should actually be at the last. So I'm just reversing this in a ascending format where the first year 2010 historical year is stated as the first one, 2011 as a second, and 2012 as a third one. The reason here is that many times when we look at forecasting essentially means that we want to understand the company in much more detail from the point of view of income statement, cash flows and balance sheets, and we would like to forecast it for future years. So say for example 2013, 2014 onwards. So if you have this income statement in this kind of a format where 2010, 11, 12, so on and so forth, you would be in a position to actually forecast these set of numbers going forward. So this is how you can look at when we talk about the income statement. Now let us look at the analyst friendly format for Colgate. So having copied and pasted these numbers, these are actual values but not formulas. So let's convert these into formulas first. Gross profit was net sales less the cost of sales. Operating profit again here is in values, so this is gross profit minus the selling, general and administrative costs, and as provided in the income statement of Colgate, the other expenses were also deducted for this. So let me copy and paste these set of formulas. Income before tax would be in operating expense minus the interest expense, doing it real quick, and net income including non-controlling interest would be income before income taxes less the provision for the taxes. So this is what we will look at in terms of net income.